Okay, first thing I want to say, on your version of this, I spaced this out a little bit better. I didn't realize until I printed it out for me to work on that the spacing was a little bad. So I apologize right now about that. But it's just for the video that the spacing's really bad. Number 1 says, given red, blue, black, purple, find the following, all of the subsets. So I think I changed the wording on the test to say, write out the following. I want you to write out all of the possible sets and not give me a number here. I noticed a lot of people on the in-class assignment were just giving me a number. And when it says to write all of the following, you need to list out every set grouping possible. If you give me a number, that's not what it's looking for, so you'll get it wrong. So when I want to find all of the subsets, this can include the original. Okay. Then I want to start off by writing that. So I'm going to have red, blue, black, purple. I'm okay if you use letters to represent these things, but remember you need to tell me which one is which. And in this instance, I would not want to use B for both blue and black because then it would look like it's the same thing. Okay. Then I want to start by writing my sets of 3. So I'm going to start by red, blue, black. That's 3 colors. Then I'm going to do red, blue, purple. Okay. Then, so those are all of the red, blue ones. Then I can do red, black, purple. Okay, and then I can do everything but red. So I can do blue, black, purple. And those are all of my 3 groupings. Then I can do groups of 2. So I'm going to do red with every color. I'm going to have red, blue. Then I'm going to have red, black. Red, purple. Then I'm going to do all of my 2 groups with blue. I've already done red, blue, so I skipped that one. But I can do blue, black. Blue, purple. That's it for my blue groups. I can do black, so I have black and purple. Then I want to do my single colors, so I have just red, just blue, just black. I'll write black instead of blue. And then just purple. And then this is another common one I saw people forget. Don't forget the empty set is also a subset. I can choose not to pick any of the colors from this grouping. So when it says all of the subsets, I think of this as choosing any possible combination of things, including I just don't like anything, so I don't want to pick any of those colors. Then to check my work, I can use the formula, which is for subsets, 2 to the n. N is the number of elements. I saw a few people get this confused with the number of sets and then the base changing to the number of elements. Okay. I am going to go ahead and count out my list. So I have 2 in the first row. I have 1, 2 in the second row. I have 1, 2, 3 in the third row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I add all of those up together, 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7, plus 4 is 11, plus 5 is 16. I have 16 total sets. So if I plug into this formula, it should give me 16. I have 2, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. So I have 2 to the 4th power. If I am using a TI-84, I would do 2 this button for exponent to the 4, which gives me 16. If I am using one of the TI-30s, it's in a different spot. So this is a TI-34. I would type 2. The exponent button is diagonal from the 7, and then 4, which gives me 16 again. Okay. For part B, when it asks for all of the proper subsets, this is excluding the original. So everything I just wrote for number 1, except for the same set as the original, gets rewritten. So I'm going to skip that set and then just copy down everything else I wrote. So I had red, blue, black. I had red, blue, purple. I had red, black, purple. Then I had blue, black, purple. Red, blue. Red, black. Red, purple. Then blue, black. Blue, purple. Black, purple. Then I have the single colors. So I have red, black. Oh, I forgot blue. Purple. And then this one can still have the empty set. I can still choose not to have anything from the original. So the formula here to figure out if I found all of the correct sets is 2 to the n minus 1. So that would be 2 to the 4 minus 1, which I just subtract 1 from earlier, is 15. So I want to have 15 total sets here. I'm going to count out how many I wrote. I have 3 in the first row, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 5 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So I found all of my proper subsets there. Okay, number 2 wants me to draw a Venn diagram using these sets below, and then find the cardinality of AB, A intersection B, and A union B. So there are 5 different things it is asking for on this question. The first step is to draw the Venn diagram. I'm going to draw it inside a rectangle, even though it doesn't give me a universal set. Okay, so I have groups A and B. I'm looking for what numbers they have in common. I see 3. I see 3. I think that's it. Okay. I have 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and 21 for my other numbers of A. Then for B, I have 1, 2, 3. 3 is already written in the middle, so I don't want to write that there. 5, 8, 13. Oh, 21 was repeated. So then that is one part I was looking for. Then I want to find the cardinality of A. Cardinality of A is how many total pieces are in A. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There were 7 elements in A. Then I want to find the cardinality of B. So how many pieces were just in B? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Also 7. Okay. Then I want to find the intersection of A and B. This is where, remember, they overlap. And I will fix the formatting on this assignment and the test so that A union or intersection B is on the same line. I don't know why it appeared on two different lines. But there are two different numbers in the middle circle overlap, so the intersection is 2. Then for the union of A and B is adding together, or not adding together, counting all together how many elements there were between the two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 different numbers between the two sets. Okay. This one is saying I asked my first 3 classes at my high school what they ate for breakfast today, and these are the responses they gave me. So A would be first hour, B would be second, C would be third. A told me Pop-Tarts, Hot Cheetos, oranges, and bagels. B says oranges, apples, Hot Cheetos. C says apple, waffle, Takis, and a breakfast sandwich. So A is asking for the intersection of A and B. This is, remember, the overlap. So I'm looking for what both A and B have in common. There are both oranges and Hot Cheetos. B is saying B union with C. This is writing everything in both sets. So I'm going to start by writing my elements from B. That was orange, apple, Hot Cheetos. Then I want to add the new pieces from C. So I've already written apple. Then I want to add waffle, Takis, and the breakfast sandwich. Okay. Next one is the intersection of C and A. So again, I'm looking for the overlap. They have in common nothing. So this is the empty set when they have nothing in common. D is asking for the union of A and C, and then up from that, the intersection with B. So I always want to find the stuff in parentheses first. My union of A and C, I start off by writing out all of the elements of A. So Pop-Tart, Hot Cheetos, orange, bagel. Then I want to add all the new things from C. So I don't have apple. I don't have waffle. I don't have Takis. And I don't have breakfast sandwich. Then what I want to do is I want to take the set that I just wrote out and compare it to B because I'm looking for the overlap with B. So I have A, U, C, overlap with B. The things I have in common with B are orange, apple, and Hot Cheetos. So my final answer here is this one. Okay. Part E is saying after my first 3 classes, I asked the rest of my students what they ate for breakfast. So everything all of my students ate were Pop-Tarts, Hot Cheetos, pancakes, cereal, orange, apple, bagel, burrito, breakfast, burrito, waffle, Takis, and breakfast sandwich. Okay, so then it wants me to find the complement of B and then unioned with the intersection of A and complement of C. So I want to work from inside the parentheses to outside. I'm going to start with my complement of C. So this is where I want to write out everything that was not in C from this new universal set. So I didn't have Pop-Tarts. I didn't have Hot Cheetos in C. I didn't have pancakes. I didn't have cereal. Didn't have orange. I did have apple in C. Didn't have bagel. Didn't have burrito. Did have waffle. Did have Takis. Did have breakfast sandwich. So that's it for my complement. Then the next part is to do the parentheses. So I want to find the intersection of A with that complement of C. So what my set A has in common with the list I just wrote out. I have Pop-Tart. I have Hot Cheetos. I have orange, and I have bagel. Okay. Then I want to find it unioned with the complement of B. I don't know my complement of B yet, so I want to first find that. My complement of B is everything from that universal list that I did not just write down. I mean, that is not already written in B. So I don't have Pop-Tart in B. I do have Hot Cheetos. I don't have pancake. I don't have cereal. I do have orange. I do have apple. I don't have bagel. I don't have burrito. I don't have waffle. I don't have Takis. And I don't have breakfast sandwich. Okay, so now I found my two sets that I'm going to compare for the union. I have my intersection of A complement with B, and my complement with C, and then my complement for B. So this was B unioned with the intersection of A and the complement of C. So because the U is between these two sets, that means I'm going to add the elements together. So I'm going to start by writing everything that I had in A intersection C. So I had Pop-Tart, Hot Cheetos, orange bagel. Then I'm going to add the new pieces from the complement of B. So I already have Pop-Tart, but I didn't have pancake. I didn't have cereal. I did have bagel. I didn't have burrito. I didn't have waffle. I didn't have Takis. And I didn't already write breakfast sandwich. So this is my answer for this question. Okay. Over here, these ones I am drawing the Venn diagrams and filling them in. So this one says a survey of 100 pet owners asked whether they owned cats or dogs. 43 people reported owning only dogs, 23 reported only owning cats, and 87 reported owning at least one of the two animals. So it wants me to draw a Venn diagram. This one, it is important to draw the rectangle for the universal set because people own more than cats and dogs. C for cats, D for dogs. It tells me 43 people only own dogs, 23 people only own cats, and 87 own both. So I'm going to find this missing number. I'm going to do 87 minus 23 minus 43. I will use this calculator. Which gives me 21. So that means 21 people own both a cat and a dog. And I have that overlap really small. However, remember 100 people were surveyed, so I'm still missing how many people belong in my universal set. To find that, I'm going to do 100 minus the 87 of people who own cats and dogs, which I've been really bad at mental math lately. So I'm going to do 100 minus 87, which gives me 13. So 13 people own some other kind of dog. I mean, animal. So A is asking how many own both a cat and dog. This one is the number in the center, 21. And then how many people own cats? This is total, including the overlap. So what I want to do here is I'm going to do 23 plus 21, which gives me 44. On number 5, this one is comparing 3 things. It's saying a survey of 670 college students were asked if they bought highlighters, pens, and pencils for the upcoming school year. And then it tells me how each of them answer. So what I want to do is I want to kind of make this squarish. I want to make sure my circles are big, my overlaps and my circles are big enough to write things in. So I am going to have H for highlighters. Pencils and pens start with the same. So I'm going to write pens, and then I'm going to have P for pencils, so I don't get them confused. Then it tells me 190 said they bought highlighters, 254 said they bought pens. These are people who are just saying they bought them. It doesn't mean they bought only those. So they could have bought highlighters and pens. They could have bought pens and highlighters. And then 508 said they bought pencils. There were 118 students who bought both highlighters and pens, 167 who bought both pens and pencils, and 127 who bought both highlighters and pencils. Then it finally tells me there was 103 who bought all 3. When I'm working on this kind of Venn diagram, I want to work backwards. So I know 103 bought all 3. Then I'm going to work backwards. It says 127 bought both highlighters and pencils. So to find that, I am going to do 127 minus 103, which gives me 24. So 24 people bought highlighters and pencils, but not a pen. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for pencils and pens, which is 167. 103. So 167 minus 103 is 64. So that goes in this overlap. Then it says 118 bought highlighters and pens. So that is going to give me 15 for this overlap. Okay. Then the next thing tells me 508 total people bought pencils. So I have 508, and I want to subtract the 3 numbers I already have inside the pencil circle. So I'm going to subtract 24, 103, and 64. That one I cannot do so easily in my head. 508 minus 24 minus 103 minus 64 gives me 317. So I have 317 people who bought pencils. Then up here it said 254 total students bought pens. So I'm going to do the same thing for pens. I start off with the 254, and then I want to subtract the 3 numbers inside the pen circle. So I'm going to subtract 15, 103, and 64. Which gives me 72. That was pens. Okay. And then 190 said they bought highlighters. So same thing again. I'm going to start off with 190, subtract my 3 numbers in the circle. So that's 15, 103, and 24. Which gives me 48. I'm almost done. The final piece is I have to figure out how many people didn't buy any of these 3 school supplies for school. To do that, I want to add up all of the numbers inside the circle and then subtract that from 670. So I'm going to move this down a bit. So I'm going to have 670, and then I'm going to write this like 48 plus 15 plus 72. So when I'm reading this, I like to read from top to bottom straight across. It kind of helps me keep them in order. Okay, so this is how I'm going to write it. So I want to add up all the insides and then subtract from 670. I can type this exactly like this into this calculator, which has seemingly been looking blurry on the screen. Let's see how this looks. 670 minus, and then I want to type it on the calculator just like I wrote it in person. On both this calculator and the TI-84s, the parentheses appear above 8 and 9. So then I want to press that. 48 plus 15. I have to be careful on this calculator. The buttons don't press as nicely. And then I just want to close my parentheses at the end, and it gives me 27. Okay, now I need to answer the 4 questions off to the side. It's asking me how many people only bought pencils. So that's the number alone in the circle. It's saying bought highlighters or pens, but not pencils. So I want to add the numbers for highlighters and pens and exclude anything that is in the pencil circle. So I'm going to add those 3 numbers together, the 48, the 15, and the 72. Which gives me 135. C is saying bought pens and highlighters, so they have to buy both, but not pens. Bought pencils and highlighters, but not pens. So pencils and highlighters together is 24, excluding the pen number. Okay, D is asking how many didn't buy any of these school supplies. That's the number on the outside, so 27. And I'll circle that because it's kind of close to my work.